Hello everybody! So my name is Victoria Sager and I'm going to do my testimonial for Strong Made Simple with Anthony and Brian. So for starters, let me tell you about myself. When I first started working with Strong Made Simple, it was January of 2017, so just maybe 6 or 7 months ago. And I was finishing out my senior year at SDSU, trying to get my degree in communications, which I did successfully, so that's good news. And I was getting ready to move up to Alaska. So I got married last July, to my husband Brandon, and he's in the Air Force and he got stationed up here. So there were a few things I wanted to check off my list before I came up. One of those things being that I wanted to be able to go to the gym and know how to exercise confidently to where it wouldn't hurt my body, and just to get more knowledge about my body and my abilities. So that's when I thought, well, you know what, why not get a trainer? So I wanted somebody who could basically help me out in terms of assessing my body, telling me what I've been doing wrong, how to adjust to it, and maybe give me some different techniques for those workouts that have been hurting my knee and my hip, etc. When I was in high school, I picked up a few knee injuries because I played soccer, I did cross country, a lot of those high impact sports, and I would constantly feel those pains. So some occasions I would skip the gym altogether because of those, and I wanted somebody who could say, you know what, this isn't the only way. You can do this, this, and this, and still get your workout in. So that's when I started thinking more about this, and my friend Nikita, who is my roommate and best friend, had worked with Strong Made Simple before. She worked with Anthony, and she recommended him to me, and I took a year before I finally just took the leap. And so this past January was that time for me where I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And I'm really glad that I did, because I had the most wonderful, wonderful time working with Strong Made Simple. So training with Anthony it's probably one of the best decisions I could have made, because in the past I would just leave the gym from those pains, or like I said, I wouldn't go at all because of the pains. And so I learned how to do a lot of cool things with Anthony. He taught me how to do pull-ups, deadlifts, how to do my squats properly, because I thought that I was already doing those correctly. And you know, some of those things that I was doing incorrectly are potentially reasons why I kept hurting myself over and over again. And so when I started working out with Anthony, I figured out ways to get knots out, so that I could increase my mobility. I learned how to do stretches for helping those pains. And it really I learned so much from this experience, and I wanted to have the confidence to go into the gym and not feel like I didn't know what I was doing, or to feel, insecure. And through working out with Anthony, I learned all of these techniques to the point that I don't even feel nervous anymore. I just kind of go in and I know exactly what to do. I look at the machines, I know what I can do with them. I have different accessories that I can use for different exercises. So it was just really great. And part of what made it so unique working with Strong Made Simple is that it wasn't one-on-one all the time. They really, really emphasize building a strong community, and they do it so well. Instead of working with Anthony just one-on-one every session, sometimes that could feel like a lot of pressure for some people, myself included, to like maybe spark conversation, or I don't know. It can get weird, So what they do is they have different time slots, and you kind of adjust to a schedule weekly, and Anthony's really, really great about checking in to make sure that you can make it. And then you have like 4 or 5 other people that you might be working out with. So what that does is it gives the focus on other people, that way you don't feel like it's all on you. And then Anthony will give us our respective exercises. Everybody is working on something different, And so what happens is, as you're working out, you'll just kind of start building conversation. And then next thing you know, you have all of these friends that you didn't expect to make. And it's more than just coming to the gym. It's like you're going to create your social life. You're going to have a good time, but you're still being productive while you do it. So I felt like this was a really phenomenal experience, because it wasn't the traditional idea that I had of a trainer. It wasn't like someone who was there to pressure me and push me. I felt encouraged to work through those exercises no matter how hard they were for me or no matter how low I felt that day. And what they do is it's Anthony and Brian. So you get two coaches, two different people who have really complementary personalities. So for the clients, for us, it's great because we have more resources. So for example, if Anthony was going out of town, or maybe if he got sick or something, he hardly ever gets sick and doesn't come to work. He's like always there. It's wonderful. But if he's out of town, I could just go to Brian and say, hey Brian, like this is what I was working on with Anthony. Any advice? And Brian would just kind of keep a loose eye on me, and I loved it. It's like I was out there, I felt more independent. It was a good practice run to not have a trainer. And then Brian would just come up and say, hey, like, you know, you're doing your push-ups this way, try doing this instead for this reason. And what they were really good at was when they did explain their exercises, they would tell you not that you're doing it wrong, but to try doing it a different way for this effect. And since I'm a logical person, that was really helpful for me because then it made sense and it made it easier to remember to keep doing it the right way instead of the not so right way. So it made me so comfortable. They would ask us, you know, or we would ask them questions whenever we felt like we needed to, and they had answers for us always. And if I had to say that anything was surprising about this, like to say look out for whatever, there was actually nothing negative. Like anything, the only surprise that I had was that it was really easy to adjust. When Anthony first told me in our consultation, like, yeah, you're going to be working out with a group, I was thinking to myself, really? Is that going to be weird? What if they don't like me? And I was stressing out about it. But it was just so easy to adjust to. I thought that it was just going to be me, or usually when I would go to the gym, it would be me and maybe one friend. And sometimes that's not super productive either, but having everybody there, it was just really easy. And then the only other thing is that Anthony, the other surprise is that Anthony knew how to evaluate his clients, and he found the right ways to push us without it being overbearing. So typically if he's more, soft-spoken, and I would be used to that, but then he could see that I was struggling to do my last pull-up. You know, he would be like, come on, like dig deep. And that surprised me sometimes that I didn't realize that he was going to be so good at figuring out what each person needs, but he really did such an amazing job with evaluating each of his clients, and it just worked really well, you know. And as far as the community goes, I got to work out with probably some of the best people on this planet. I don't know how I got so lucky, but I did. And it was a few people. There was Terrence, Karen, Ken, and Brandon. And those were my 4 buddies each week that I would look forward to seeing. And you know, you run into other people from other sessions, so maybe you come in at the end of someone's 6:30 session, you get to meet them, or the people coming in after you would get to meet them as well. So I did get to meet some other lovely people like Mel and Char and Lisa, Byron. Just you meet a lot of people. That's just how it goes. But to tell you about my special crew. So Terrence is someone who you can always count on to brighten up your day. He has jokes for days. I mean, endless amounts of jokes. And so for me, it was a great Kickstarter in the morning since we were getting there at 7:30 in the morning. And he always had something to kind of like get me going. And that was kind of something I appreciated because I love puns and I love jokes, whether they're clever or not, or good or not, I love them. And he had a whole repertoire of jokes for me. So he's just a really sweet guy, super smart, super inspirational, really easy to be around. So that's Terrence. So look out for him. He's great. And next is Karen, and sweet Karen. She's so lovely. Like when we would go there, she's a little bit older than me, or than us, and she's really kind and really soft-spoken, I would say, but then she also has her feisty, sassy side, and I always looked forward to that side, because I'm sassy, and I love the sass. So with Karen, it was really nice because you could have a small, like, sweet conversation, but you could also joke around with her and she would joke back. So that was something to look forward to for sure. And then there's Brandon, who is crazy busy all the time. He's a really ambitious person. I mean, outside he's working 2 different jobs, running a business, doing all the things he's doing. But when he came to the gym, he was just this really easy person to talk to. Such a community builder. So any day that I'd come, maybe I wasn't feeling so hot. Maybe I was nervous to talk to anybody. I don't know, we have those days. And Brandon will just start a conversation like it's nothing. And without you even realizing it, you'll end up in this really engaging conversation. He'll even pull other people into it. That way you start socializing with this other person. He made it so easy for me to feel comfortable. If I went to the gym for my workout and I knew that Brandon was going to be there, I was like, it's going to be a good day. He's great. And now I even work for him outside of the gym, So it's like we meet people who impact us in the gym, and then you meet people who also will affect your life outside of that. And I think that's really amazing. And last of my group is Ken, who is so lovely because he tries to have this tough exterior. He likes to be a grump, but on the inside, he's actually a softie. And he was upset because I discovered that, and we ended up becoming like best friends. And I practically adopted him as my dad because I went over there, he made me dinner, and we would hang out, and we would just crack jokes in the gym all the time. Our biggest thing is sarcasm. We love it. So we would do these little jabs at each other while we were working out, and that's great because that motivated us. It kept us happy and full and ready to work. So, you build these relationships, and you don't even know how much these people are about to change your life. I didn't know at all. And now I'm in Alaska, and I miss them every day. And I miss having my gym buddies because they were everything to me. But, with all of this love and encouragement that you get from your community, Anthony and Brian are a huge part of that. And for me, Anthony was kind of the catalyst for all of my success. Without him, I wouldn't know how to do my pull-ups or my push-ups. I wouldn't know what I'm currently capable of, because before I just thought that I was weak, but it turns out that I am not. And Anthony really showed me that. He is always there to listen. He was always there when we needed to talk about something, when maybe we weren't feeling well, and he didn't make us feel bad for it. He never once made me feel bad for not feeling well or if I couldn't make it to the gym that day. Instead, what he does is he asks you what's going on. He asks you what you think you can do that day, or he'll throw out some ideas and say, hey, does that sound good? And you'll end up collaborating and finding this happy medium where you can still do your workout and you don't feel bad. You don't feel like you're in pain or anything. He was really, really great with that. And that's something that I feared about having a trainer in the first place, was I don't want someone who's going to come up to me and interrogate me. No, I wanted someone who could be helpful, and that was Anthony. So altogether, working with Strong Made Simple has been one of the best experiences that I ever have had. And I would just say that if you're even thinking about any of these things, about wanting to be stronger, wanting to change your body, even your mentality, if there are fears that you have, I promise you that Anthony and Brian can work together to help you with that. And once you make that decision, you will not regret it because they're amazing. And this was one of the best experiences I've ever had. So that's my testimony. And, now I'm in Alaska and we still all talk and we still stay in touch and talk about our different workouts too, at least with Anthony and me. So he makes sure that you're okay no matter where you are. Yeah, so go to Strong Made Simple. They're great. Anyway, thank you for listening to my testimony. It was lovely to speak to you.